Right, so the keen-eyed amongst you will have spotted the big gleaming patch of gold a mile away, which, yep, my goof. I got that completely wrong in the masking. So hopefully if you are following this build you saw that and before you started masking yours up and you realised, oh no, that's not quite the way to do it. The same as I did, far too late. So hopefully you can avoid that kind of thing as well. So what I'm going to do is, because bear in mind this is the weathered side, I'm literally just going to touch it in with a couple of blobs of paint. So right there on the top of that cap, I've got a tiny little spot there of primer. I'm literally just going to paint that across the top, like so. Let that dry back, see what it looks like. If I need to, I'll add a second coat. There's a tiny spot there as well. Just noticed on the on one of those handles. It's bothersome. So again, tiny little spot of primer over the top. Let these two dry, see what that looks like. There's a spot just there, so I'm going to touch that with primer as well, just to remind myself. And once I'm happy with that, I'll touch that in with the green, and then I'll weather that side, so hopefully that'll get lost in the weathering to this side. Right, so whilst that's drying, I'm going to have a quick look along here and figure out where I'm going to weather on this side. Now, there's going to be a couple of chips, nothing hugely major like I did on that box last night. It's literally going to be tiny little things. I'm going to very quickly clean that brush and check my reference photos again. Me doing research, oh my god. That's a scary thought. Right, won't be a second. Right, so fortunately I'm not allowed to show you the actual references that have been sent, but from what I can tell, we've got that box here that goes there, so I'm not going to see too much in the way of damage to that side on the back corner as is. But there is a little bit of scuffage across there. I'll finish words again in a minute. Tiny little bits along this top edge here. And then we've got one of the boxes. Boxes. We've got that fella just there. Quite a lot of marking to that. We've got that one that goes there. Again, there's quite a lot of marking on that too, especially around the buckles and the lip of the lid. Get in. My word, that's a tight squeeze. So there's a fair amount of markage around that. Good old chunk of markage across that corner, alongside the skirt that will go there. So where that skirt goes on, just tip you right on your side. That skirt goes on there. There's a fair amount of rubbage on this corner here. Now that's possible, that's where Barry gets up and down into his position. Indeed, the rest of the crew might as well. There's a heavy wear across that part, which actually exposes. Oh, hello. There we go. Get off. Actually exposes the ridge across there. Fair amount of markage across there, and then lots and lots of stuff where Barry lives. So obviously Barry's going to be getting in and out all the time. And there's a fair amount over the headlight guards as well. But it's one of those, it's really subtle, but at the same time you know it's being used. And the tendency here is to overdo it. So if I just give that another crack. Get it lifted a tiny little bit. Don't overdo it. Like so, just to separate it a little bit. It's just a subtle tweak, but it does just enough. I'm going to add that rubber colour again. What shall we do? The chipping. The chipping might be a bit too brown for this. I want a dark grey rather than... Ooh, that's not been used for a while. I've got that chipping colour, eModels 044, which has kind of a brown tone to it, so we can start doing rusting and things like that. Now this vehicle isn't actually too rusty, from what I can tell. So I'm going to stay with that rubber colour because it's a lovely dark grey. Stick with that. I'm trying not to lose my voice at the same time. So I'm going off my photo. Hello photo, stop it. Right there. Right there. Fair amount of wear and tear just there. So again, go a few squiggles and the like, come across that top edge. So that looks a bit scruffy as well. Nothing huge. I'm literally just touching the brush to the piece. Let's zoom in a little bit, see if we can get a better angle on that. Oh, that's a nice gentle zoom. Lovely. Oh, very arty-farty. Look at that. Look at that. Lovely. Right. Concentrate now, Tony. There's a little bit of wear and tear just here. Kind of looks like that. There's a few bits and bobs. Just there. Yeah, nothing huge. Just enough to make the suggestion that it's in use. A couple of spots here and there. At some point I will be getting the sponge out as well. Just to add some more subtle stuff. We'll probably do that in a lighter colour as well, just to add a little bit more interest. There's a little bit of wear just there. On that top edge there. Like so. And hopefully that was in shot, so I wasn't paying any attention whatsoever to my viewfinder. A little bit just there. And this is where it gets a little bit, use your imagination, because I'll tell you what, that looks lovely over the brown. This is the part where it's obscured by the boxes. I should imagine there's going to be a fair amount of stick just here. So again, don't overdo it, don't go happy daft like I tend to do. Concentrate more on the corners and the edges. In shot, just about. couple of dicks here and there on the faces of the flat parts. And then, right where these boxes will be, there'll be a fair amount of stick on there as well. Like so. I'll add some just there. That's a bit heavy, but never mind. And then if we look at it from Barry's point of view, there's going to be a fair amount around here where it grabs all the things. Like that. How far across does that turret come? That's a fair away, so it's not going to be too scuffed across the tops, I wouldn't imagine. It's going to be more along these faces. Oh, we're not doing that side, are we? No, don't. See? Carried away. Carried away then, so concentrate on this side. Sorry Barry, I'm making you out to be scruffier than you actually were. And you were scruffy. I think it's time I reveal who Barry was. I'm not actually going to say your name, Barry. I know you're watching. Barry was actually the driver of 432 that I did the training in half a lifetime ago. And I'm sure he found every divot in that bloody field to try and put me off that test. He denies it to this day, but I'm convinced. I'm utterly convinced he did that on purpose. I've still got that lump. Despite the fact I was wearing full NBC gear and I hit my head. I was wearing my helmet. I'll tell you what, every now and then you can feel it still. It's a right whack. Saw stars and everything. Brilliant. Where's the other photo? I'll spin it back this way around. So there's plenty of markings, if you note, on the edge of the hatch, but not a great deal on the hatch itself. I'm going to be naughty, I'm going to come across it a little bit just to tie it all together, like so. And we got a fair amount, let's say, on these corners here. Oh, hello. Sorry, guys. Yes, I know, I've still got to do the fender as well. It is a shame I've lost this mount. At some point I may do a blooper reel where I try and make a new mount, and yeah, it just went wrong. And I nearly lost a finger. Which is why you don't see one there now. There's a part of me that's sorely tempted. Sorely tempted to scuff up that flag. But I shan't. We've disappeared. We've disappeared completely out of shot then. I'm so sorry. We're on extreme zoom, so that doesn't help. Let's come out a tiny little bit. There we go. Solid temp, or else shall resist. That should be a good little patriot. I'll come back around for that corner there. How many have fallen asleep so far? I do find that a lot, you know, when people are doing detail videos. I find myself nodding off for a while. Don't get me wrong, it's fantastic work, guys, but oh my word. They start talking softly like that. Especially like Bob Ross style. They start talking softly, and the next thing you know, you find yourself nodding off as you sit there watching. I'm just going to take, just on the back of my hand there, just going to take the excess off the brush. So there's a little bit too much on there then, and I'm just going to blend that corner a little bit. Ooh, got a bubble. I've got a bubble on the end of my brush. And then I'm just going to add a little spot of X20A into one of the side pots, just so I can reinvigorate the brush. There we go, without actually rinsing the brush. So, a little sweaty mix just there. Just so I can wear the brush up. Right, we're going to pause there so I can take care of my dad whilst he goes to bed and things like that. So just bear with this 2 seconds. Okay, right, so tiny little happy little happy little scratches, fluffy little trees. Just the odd indication here and there. There's a little bit of now something going on. I'm tempted to paint a Deathclaw. Yeah, just give that a quick dab, like so. Just give it a bit of a smudge, so it doesn't look like it's painted on. A little bit around here. It does look lovely on that brown, this grey. Yeah, let's get some on this part here. Now, is that an indicator? I do think that's an indicator. I could be wrong. Let me know. I'm sure you will. I best not sound sarcastic there, but yeah, I failed. I wasn't trying to come across as sarcastic, honest. My God, that sounded sarcastic too. Got a lady at work. She's so sarcastic, and you take it on. You start talking like her as well. He's like, oh my God, have you heard yourself, you? Have a word. I'm just going to thin down a tiny little bit with the X20A. I'll show you what I'm doing there. Zoom out. So I've got the X20A just there. Just got to literally dip in with the brush, knock the excess off, and then just gently sweep into that area there, just to thin down a little bit. Only a tiny amount. Ooh! I just hit the trigger on my airbrush. Just so we can catch a couple of bits and bobs here and there. What this will do, it'll just lighten the grey a little bit. Just add a slightly different tone to it. So we've got a little bit of translucency, which will then add to the effect that we're going for. A couple of big ones there, like so. It's just daft little things, dance here and there. Just nothing major. It's not like we're used to seeing at the moment, you know, with all these heavy weathering effects that we get with the AK and ammo for MiG ranges. I've had quite a few tutorials recently, in the past few years, where it's like massive chipping and stuff like that. This is very, very subtle. This is actually killing me to rein in the amount of damage I'm doing to the thing. And rightly so. It's a beautiful vehicle. It's a beautiful scheme. There you go. Just take some of that excess off with the glove. Just tone it down a little bit. It is a beautiful scheme, it really is. And it is a shame to destroy it with a lot of weathering. which is why I'm keeping one side relatively clean. Right, that's as far as I'm going to take that. Yeah, as tempted as I am to carry on going, that's as far as I'm going to take that. So what we'll do in a minute, I'm going to just go and make a brew. That worries me, that. I've got my main bedroom light right above that lamp. Doesn't half worry me. Even though I know it's not going to set anything on fire, you still see that little circle, you go, ants! No, stop it. Stop it, that's cruel. Right, so I'm going to have a brew. Check a few more photos that John sent me, very, very kindly. Cheers, John. Couldn't have done this without you, mate. Thank you so much. And then, that drive wheel's annoying me. Just tighten that up a little bit. There we go. We'll add a little bit of silver, a silver, generic name, to those the spokes, teeth. Just to expose them a little bit. We'll start doing the chipping on the boxes too, and then we'll work on the turret. It's getting there, it's getting there. Yeah. Hey you, it's Tony for eModels.co.uk. Welcome to the introductory part of episode 1 of the Takom 1/35th scale Chieftain Mk10 build. As you can see, I'm most of the way through it now. What we decided to do between myself, Pete-mate and Gav-mate was, rather than make you wait 17 weeks for one episode, then another 3 months for another episode, 2 weeks for episode 3, and then 19 weeks for episode 4. And things like that, like we did with the Terminator build. Unfortunately, my work schedule is absolutely crackers, which means I can't spend as much time here these days like I used to. So what we did was film it all in one go over the last couple of months, get as far into it as I can, then start giving the episodes, which now means I can give you a regular schedule of an episode per week. Magic. Good news is I have 3 episodes already edited. I've just got to do the introductions like this, and then we're off. Magic. So as you can see, most of the way through the build, just beginning some very, very light weathering on the thing. You just about make out at the front there. What I'm doing is we're doing a half and half build, so this half on this side is going to be weathered. That side is going to be kind of showroom with a touch of, we've done some panel line work and stuff like that, so it's a cleaner version of the vehicle. We've enhanced the realism on this side by cutting into the skirts, just to give them a little bit of a wonk. Stop it. So like I said, this side's going to be nice and clean, but this is kind of, oh, handshake, nice. That's how it's going to look. I know, it's a fantastic paint scheme. I love that paint scheme. I'm going to paint every model I do from this point on in this colour scheme. It's fantastic. I might even do a pink version of this splitter pattern. Stop giggling. Right then, so without any further ado, of course, let's get on with it. Right, so I had to go away and do Tony things again in Tony World, which is rubbish. Don't like doing Tony things in Tony World. So it means I'm not here doing this. So, well, a spot of X20A again in my palette, just off to the side, just out of shot, and then get some of that. Where's it gone? That rubber colour, rubber and tyres. I'm just going to add some little scuffs and dinks to the side skirt now, which will involve coming up onto these little brackety things, just here. So I'll try and get the palette and shot at the same time. Just off to the side, right there. I've got some X20A and the rubber colour, so I'll literally just go and dip my brush into the X20A. Just thin that paint down a tiny little bit. Not a huge amount, I don't want it absolutely runny but it's just enough now that if I bring this piece here, oops, like so, I can match chips up on the brackets here. Just add a couple of things here and there. It's just basically repeating what we did on the other stages. A couple of dings. But thinning the paint down like this, it's not going to create a huge step. That's going to be absolutely blindingly obvious that we've added some paint. And again, try not to go happy daft at it, not overboard, like I'm going to do. I can feel it. Ooh, that's a nice little scratch, that one. I do like that one. I am tempted to add a little bit of rusty spots here and there, but yeah, it won't be too rusty. Leave it all nice and clean. Just a nice shot, just about. Along these bottom edges here, I'll be adding some slightly dirty weathering just at the bottom, so it's like that dusty effect you get on the bottom of your cars and things like that, your little traffic filth. Don't overegg your pudding, Tony. So that's that one. And then we have, this one goes here. It's up nice and stable, that'll be super. So a couple of little dings on this corner here, along this edge. Some tiny little things, oh, I like that one. And don't forget to take off story. Try and figure out why these little dinks are there to start with. Get some on that top edge there. Some here. Like so. Again, pulling and twisting my brush to a point through the paint. Like that through the palette. Just get yourself a nice little point, take away the excess. Just tiny little things. Nothing too major. We just lift it a little bit. Nothing overly huge. And pull that one there. Take a couple of little dinks on the brackets. Can actually leave that bracket as it is, because we've got some mush on there. Just about making out it's all grubby. Liking that. And then just to hide where the masking didn't quite take, it didn't quite line up, just to distract your eye away from it, I'm going to put a bit of chippage just there. Just distract you. And there's some scrapes where, I don't know, maybe one of the locals came past with his car keys. Maybe Barry was chatting his girlfriend up or something last night. Okay, that's that one. And this fella right at the back. So we can hide a little bit of overspray there with some chips. This is where chipping comes in really handy. If you've not been exactly spot on with your masking, have a couple of chips, you get away with it. It's fine. Lovely. That's that one. Magic. So coming around this back corner, we've now got this box that'll go here. He says, right there like that. So I'm actually tempted to add that now. And then we'll have this box here. Like so. So if I go roughly in line with that brown stripe there for the chippage. On chips now. Yeah, just pick out the edges. Bits where the spanners would slip. And some around that housing there. On the toe hooks. Like so. It's upside down, Tony. Get it right way around. There we go. And of course that'll be hidden by a couple of track links anyway, so don't worry too much. I'll need to add a little bit of weathering to these two pipes here as well. Use those pipes. While I'm here, I'm just going to add a touch of colour to the inside of the exhausts. Just to darken them a little bit. Just create the illusion there's something there. Set that there, right, so that's that. Let's work on the big box. So we've got that one there. Was it that one? That one there. I've done that. There's that box there. Oh! My leg stuck. It's alright, I'm fine. I'm okay. I really shouldn't sit like that, you know. It's bad for my knees. Alright. Focus. 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 Hello. And most of these will be lost anyway in the background because it's a dark colour. That's okay. We know it's there. will become apparent is on the white, obviously. Like so, and then we'll just add some there because it's a split lid. Splodge, ooh, that's a good one. It's probably too much. But that's okay. Barry was a bit clumsy that day. Again, be patient, don't rush this. Just take your time. Ooh, I like that one. I do like that. Especially on that edge. Just there. I like that indeed. Is anybody feeling sleepy yet? I am. All this concentration I'm doing. Tiny. Barely touching with the brush. Get any shot, Tony. There's going to be a fair amount of wear and tear around where the buckles are. Are these buckles or clasps? I can't quite remember where I end up. A fair amount of dinkage around there. So that's that one. And then, just thin the paint down again. Same again, around the buckly claspy things. There's going to be a fair amount of bashing, chipping, scuffs, marks. Oh, excuse me. I do beg your pardon. And again. So I get rid of this gurgle. There you go, that's better. I can feel that building up. Shocking, I am sorry. I really must learn not to film after I've had my tea. Just a big scrape across there, like so. Probably too much, but yeah. It's fine. Oh, my dad's got the same problem. Ooh, thumb shake. There you go, right. That can go there. Turret. Bring the turret in. Take the big boomstick off. Excuse me. Right, so here's your hatch. There's your hatch. There's going to be a fair amount around here. Probably not so much that. There we go. Just use the finger, just take away a little bit of that excess. So yeah, think about where there's going to be lots of high usage. Will you cooperate? It tends to be on all the raised parts and corners and edges, like so. Nothing too drastic. Just enough to suggest that it is in use. Great shot, Tony. Shocking. Do apologise. I've got my tongue out and everything here. these clasps. Just decided to call clasps now. Just knock some of the excess off. Now I'm finding as well, because I've been slinging it about on the desk a little bit, it's picking up natural dinks and dents as well. There's a couple of little scuffs here on this box already that are actually natural wear and tear. So I just thought as well, it looks like all the chips. It's brilliant. There's another one just there. That's from slinging it around the desk a little bit. Go with it. It's okay. Embrace it. I'm actually finding it's quite relaxing as well. Just following natural curves, natural lines. The flat panel's getting a scratch or two. This is where all the baskets will be, so there's going to be a fair amount of high usage around this area. Things getting thrown about. And dragged around and slung in the back. I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying this. Lovely. Right then. So, I'm going to add some along here as well. Where are we? Not a huge amount. And then, if you can imagine a line right slap bang down the middle. That's where we're going to draw the line. Right about there. Right about there, he says. Off shot. Let's straighten out this bit here. this edge, barely touching again now. So there we go. If we compare that now, zoom out a tiny little bit, so got all the little dinks and knocks and stuff like that, and then compare it with the clean side. So it's not a huge deal of work we've done. Alright, it's the best part of an hour, half an hour's clip to do the entire, excuse me, the entire half of the model. So you're talking of a good hour if you did the whole thing. Just the realism a little bit. You've now got, you know, a couple of different ways you can finish this. I like that.